Notts County Talk, we are delighted ahead of the playoffs to once again be joined by a Notts player, and it's a fan favourite, Aaron Nemane. Aaron, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you spending your time with us.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, good to be here.
We've had Ruben on, obviously, you know Ruben's character. We had Dion on last couple of years ago, and we had Adam Chickson on last. Okay. So yeah, it's good, really good to get you on.
Yeah.
We asked for loads of questions, and you guys delivered. We've had to wade through a fair few to whittle it down to about 10 questions we've got. As always, our format will be quick fire questions for Aaron to answer, and then we'll get into your fans' questions and see what you have to say. As always, thank you for supporting us and sending all those in, and please do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff ahead of the playoffs. So Aaron, George is going to give you the first 5 questions, and then I'll give you the second 5. Sort of first thing that comes to your head. Some might take a little bit longer, but George is gonna go through those first 5 for you.
Yeah. Let's get into it then. First question: what do you like to do in your spare time?
I just like to chill, just kind of relax and recover with obviously the amount of games you play, like how hard training is. I just like to relax, just watch TV. Yeah, just that really.
Is there any other sport you get involved in, like that you like to play in your spare time?
No, actually. I do quite like table tennis, basketball sometimes in the summer. I'm not obviously the biggest, but I get around. So a bit of basketball with my friends during the summer, but yeah, that's about it.
Good stuff. Second question then: do you support a football team?
I just like football in general. Like I like to watch it. I wouldn't really say I support anybody, but I just enjoy watching football.
Do you find that in the changing room, or as you become pro, that people start to just be like that and enjoy football and not support teams, or do you find like even in Notts dressing room, if people got teams they support?
No, I think a lot of the players support football teams, but I'm just one of them that just enjoys like watching football really. Yeah.
Fair enough. Third question then: is there any pre-match meal that you specifically eat, or?
Yeah, I always have. Well, to be fair, it changes for home games and for away games. So for away games, I always have some toast, some eggs, a bit of ham, and cheese. Yeah, always that for away games.
Good stuff. Fourth question then: what would you say your best attribute is as a player?
Everyone's going to say pace, really, so I'll just go with that pace.
Yeah. I would say that, to be fair.
Before we go on, other questions we've asked, we haven't included you or Toby. Who wins in a race?
I'll probably say Toby. Yeah, Toby's so quick. Yeah, Toby's really? So quick. But I think it depends on distance as well. Yeah. I think maybe longer distance he'd beat me. Maybe like really, really short distance, I'll probably just edge it. But probably say I'd say Toby.
Anyone else in the squad that comes close?
Mark, I think Mark is quicker than me.
Yeah, he is.
Especially like short distance. Mark is so quick. So I'll probably say he's probably quicker than me as well.
Surprising. Right. Question 5 then: favorite TV show or series?
Well, I literally just finished The Night Agent like literally right now. So I'll probably just say that, and I really enjoyed it. So I'll probably just say that.
I have no idea what that is.
The
Night Agent.
Yeah.
Have a look on Netflix.
Recommended.
Very good.
I'll have a look. Going on to the next one then, and I think from a Notts fans' point of view, if you're on Instagram, we might think we have an answer to this, but who's the hardest worker in training and who takes things most seriously?
Hardest worker? I mean, we've got a few. Probably so like obviously Adam Chickson, Sam Austin. Sam Austin's up there. All right. I'll probably give it them 2.
Yeah. I was thinking you was going to say Chickson. Like, if you've got Instagram, you just see him in his ice bath every night.
Yeah. But no, Sam Austin's up there as well. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, he never stops working, does he? Non-stop.
No.
Do you have any like pre-match music or favorite songs you listen to like get you ready for the game?
Not really. I'll probably just like listen to a bit of literally a bit of anything like when I'm getting ready, and then basically Carl Cameron, he's the DJ, so we just kind of listen to his music.
Good music.
Well, not his music, but like the music that everybody obviously like picks.
Yeah.
And obviously puts into like a little album, and then obviously we'll play that. So obviously got a few dodgy songs, but it is what it is. Yeah,
gotta go with it.
Yeah.
Funniest player in the changing room?
Oh, that's easy, Toby.
Is it?
Toby, yeah, Toby, definitely. Maybe Ruben's up there sometimes. Ruben's quite funny, but I'd give it Toby, definitely.
What we saw his video, his
Yeah.
recovery video, didn't we, the other day? Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good watch. What's Jim like?
Yeah, Jim's funny. Yeah, Jim's funny as well. But yeah, I'd still give it to Toby because he's not. He doesn't try to be funny. It's just himself. He's just
Yeah, he came across well on that. Two more questions then. So one again, not related to football. What's the most used app on your phone?
Probably WhatsApp. Yeah, probably say WhatsApp. Messaging my family, my friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So not one of these. It's just scrolling social media.
But... No. No Twitter, no Instagram. No.
And finally, this doesn't have to be obviously at Notts, but who do you have like a best friend in football?
Yeah, I have a few. So players that I played with when I was younger. So you got like the likes of Tosin Adarabioyo, you got Fulham, Cameron Humphreys, Charlie Oliver. They're like them. Yeah, I've got a few that I still keep in touch with from young. I still play football now. So yeah.
What's it like when like obviously seasons you got things like Saturday, Tuesday games? Like is it easy to like catch up when it's that kind of?
Not really. No, because obviously they have so many games as well. So it's and obviously we all live in different cities, so it is kind of difficult. But we try our best to see each other. But yeah, we message a lot, so it's one of them. Yeah, it is hard to see each other though.
Yeah. Great. That's our quick fire questions done with. Some obviously related to football, some not. So before we go on to the fans' questions, we've just got a few from ourselves. So for me, how did you get into football?
Well, I'm guessing it's probably because my brother used to play football as well when he was really young, and I think just from then on he went into the academy, and then I kind of just loved playing football as well, like watching him play. So it's just that really.
Was it like at what point did you like think that it was possible to really make it? Because we see so many people going through like the system, and like myself and George, you play and you go out with people that you think are going to make it, and they just struggle. Like, how hard is it, and when did you actually think it was possible?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. But I think I didn't really think about it too much. I just kind of played until I signed at City when I was 11 years old, and then just still kind of played, but never thought about too deep into it. Or I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. And then eventually, I just got to where I am. Really, literally, just never thought about. Oh, I'm gonna make it. Or I'm not.
Yeah.
You know the sort of the jump from playing and then going to the youth setup at City. Where were you playing before that? Was it just like a local team or?
Yeah, I was playing locally, and I got scouted, and then literally on my birthday I went on trial, and then just signed then, and then just been at City ever since through the academy.
What was that like? What is that like to sort of hear that a team like that are after you?
Yeah, it was actually like very, very good because basically when I signed, it was when the takeover with all the money wasn't even there yet, so you kind of like see it. So so we just kind of train like a little training center that wasn't like too far from the stadium, and then literally obviously the money came in to build a new training ground, and just moved over there, and then just the Man City that it is today.
Yeah, massive club. Obviously saw the game the other night as well, beating Arsenal. Is there like a lot of pressure? Do you feel like that? Because we see these documentaries. I can't remember what the City one's called. Can you, George? But you see like, and you look into the academies and things, and you often think it looks really cutthroat where players are just dropped at the drop of a hat. Does it feel like that, or do you feel like you're having to work really hard just to maintain your place?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. There's so many good players, and obviously you fight in not just them, but literally the first teamers as well, who are probably like the best players in the world, to try and get into that team. And it is difficult, but that's football, really. So you just kind of like get on with it. Like if you make it, great. If you don't, you just have to go and make it somewhere else at another club.
Yeah. What's the most like notable players you came through with?
I'll probably say, like I said his name before, like Tosin Adarabioyo, who's in the Premier League right now. I'll probably say him. Yeah, he's at Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about played against? Is there any sort of big names that you'd have played against?
I think basically because I'll probably say like Chelsea players who obviously have made the step to the first team. Probably like played against them like quite a lot throughout the younger ages. So probably like all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a massive youth system.
Yeah.
And before we get onto the fans' questions, what's been the biggest challenge in your career? Has there been any points where you've thought this is really difficult now? Or
I'd say probably getting released and then trying to find a new club. I probably say that was tough because I didn't find a new club like until probably like a couple of months. So I was training by myself for a few months, so that was kind of tough. But eventually, I signed at Torquay and did quite well, and then come and move here. Yeah.
How does that go about? Are you just trying to contact clubs and like get on trials and things, or someone's messaging you?
Yeah, that, and then basically, trying to be hopeful that someone calls in and say, "Oh yeah, like we want to sign you," but it is obviously like difficult. But yeah, I just got to keep training and see what happens, and eventually it did come, and I was signed at Torquay.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to go on to fans' questions, but there's a few loan deals in there, wasn't there, as well, abroad as well. What was it like going abroad to play? Enjoyable? Did you learn a lot?
Yeah, it's obviously completely different. Like, obviously coming through at City, so where you kind of like always play pretty football, you kind of know what everyone's doing. And to go into like men's football, and obviously like my first loan at Rangers, like that was huge eye opening. Like, you don't realize, obviously, you know how big Rangers is, but you don't realize how big it is until like you're actually there.
Yeah.
Like playing in front of 50,000, like packed every week. It is a lot of pressure, and I think I was like 19 at the time, and it was a very, very good experience. And then obviously I didn't really play that much, but obviously going abroad, I got a bit more game time. It probably wasn't the best football and things like that, but I just went out there because I wanted to get a lot of game time, and I did, and I obviously came back to England to Torquay, and yeah.
What was it? Go Ahead Eagles, wasn't it? One of the sides.
Yeah, I went to Go Ahead Eagles.
Were they in the top? Were they in the Eredivisie, the top league?
No, they'd just been relegated to the second division.
So what standard would you say that's like compared to the UK, like league
It's kind of hard because me and Ruben have actually spoken about this because obviously Ruben came from there.
Yeah.
The second division, so, and it's kind of like hard to compare. Yeah, I'll probably say it's a bit more technical, but it's also like quite physical. So you get like a mixture of both. Where I'll probably say like in England it's a lot more physical.
Yeah,
it's obviously out technical, but it's obviously like it's much more physical. Yeah.
Is the culture noticeably different from sort of over there to sort of Britain, the footballing culture?
Not so much. It's quite similar. It's quite similar, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. So we'll get on to fans' questions. We've narrowed it down to 10. As I said just before we started this, we had loads and loads of questions.
Yeah.
Quite a lot were saying, well, there's a lot of, as I said earlier, massive fans' favourite of the club. Loads of people saying, we had our podcast last Thursday night live, and one of the questions we asked was, if you had a top 3 players this season, who would make it? Quite a lot of people putting you in their top 3, which is obviously when we've played and you've got the likes of Maka in there who automatically takes a spot because of the goal scoring. I think to be mentioned that top 3 is obviously really it's a massive achievement. But yeah, loads of people put you in there. Also, loads of people asking you how long you want to stay at Notts, things like that. So obviously a big fans' favourite there. But well, it's not even a question. Just to prove how much you loved at Notts, someone said, "This isn't a question. Do you know what's coming, George?"
Yeah, I saw this earlier. Yeah.
This isn't a question, but can you tell Aaron that we got married in October, this guy and his wife, and we named the tables after our favourite ever Notts players, and Aaron's the only table that got named after him from the
Oh,
comments.
really?
I've seen the pictures. There's like
Thank you.
I think there's like there's different table names, but then there's the Aaron Nemane table at a wedding. So I don't think you can get better than that. Would you rather win player of the season or have that a table named after you at a wedding? Well, you're halfway there. I mean, I almost didn't believe it until I saw the picture. So, I mean, that's the biggest compliment I think you could have.
Yeah,
so
that's great. Thank you.
We'll go to the questions first. I'll go for the first one then, George. So,
go for it.
First question is a question from Facebook. So, what made you sign for Notts, or how did you sign, or when did you hear of the interest, sort of thing?
I think it was in the summer after losing a playoff final to Hartlepool, and I just heard there was interest, and I'm not going to say no to Notts County if they're coming for me, really. So it was just kind of easy. As soon as I knew they were interested, it kind of like got done pretty quick, and I just decided to come here straight away.
Was that before or after Carl Cameron had joined?
It was after. Yeah.
Did he have any influence on that? Did you chat to him or anything like that?
No. He just literally. I think I told him they were interested in me, and then that was literally it. I'm not even too sure he had even signed yet, but I kind of knew he was coming here. So I don't think he actually even signed yet, but I just told him they were interested, and then that was literally it. And obviously he signed, and then we kind of spoke a little bit in the summer.
Yeah.
And then just decided to come here.
Fair enough. George, this second question you're going to obviously read out. We have to say this every time we have it on. This is a genuine fan. Fan's name. So George.
Yeah, Ian Birchnell. Yeah. How has this season been for you as a player compared to other seasons?
Well, I'll probably say it's my most consistent season where I've played basically week in, week out. And it's been like very, very enjoyable, and I'm very happy with the season that I've had. But I've had a lot of minutes. I think I've played pretty well, and it's been really fun in this team.
What would you say the reason for your consistency is this season?
I'll probably say it's a difficult question now. I think having the gaffer's trust, like just playing me every single week. I know what I can do, and I feel like I'm a player that needs to play regular football, because I feel like I'm not really good at coming in and then being out. Like I feel like, to be fair, every footballer's like that. They need a run of games, and I just felt like last season I didn't really get like a run of games to show what I could really do, and I think I've had the chance to this season.
Yeah. Earlier in the season, obviously, you had Toby that was fit and didn't pick up that injury, and we've seen that like Luke Williams likes to rotate. I mean, we saw the other day against Maidstone, we started with Vinny and Jody Jones at the wing back positions, and obviously you would have had Toby like breathing down your neck for that position, and then all of a sudden he got that injury, which is really unfortunate. Is there first of all, when Toby's fully fit, how does it feel to have someone that, like you said, has got the same attributes as you, is quick, if not, you said quicker, obviously, like yourself, really good at crossing the ball, making opportunities, for them to be fighting for that spot? How does that feel, first of all?
Well, that's football for you. That's what you get when you go to a big club like Notts County. You're gonna be surrounded by very, very good players that will push you week in, week out. And I've played like quite a lot, but when Toby's played, Toby's been honestly brilliant, and we've pushed each other well. It's just unlucky that he picked up an injury. Because it's one of them where I think there's one of the games this season where I played on the other side, he played on one side. Like we can still play together, even though we obviously fight for that wing back spot. But also you got Chickson, you got Frank, you got Jody, got so many players that can play in that position. And it's obviously been tough, but you've just got to try your best and then try and be number one.
And then all of a sudden, like you said, Toby gets the injury, and then you've got Jody who can play really, really well down that side. And we've seen Adam Chickson switched across. But did you feel like all of a sudden there wasn't as much pressure of someone breathing down your neck for that spot, because they're not necessarily, that's not their natural positions?
No, not at all, because they're still like brilliant players. And Jody, honestly, he's so good. Like he's a really, really good footballer. Like, as soon as he came and I said, I asked him what position he played. He told me, oh, he just played in midfield and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, you can play more positions than that. Like, you're a footballer, innit? Like, you can play any position, really. So never have I thought, oh, like, it's kind of easy now. Like, Toby's out injured. I'm gonna play week in, week out, because that's not happened. Where obviously the other day, Jody played. I think the game before, Woking. I think Jody played again. So never ever felt like, oh, I can be complacent, or I'm gonna play week in, week out, because it's not true.
Yeah, Jody strikes me as a player that just pulls off some ridiculous stuff in training.
Yeah.
Good player.
Very good player.
Is it very much as well, like, is it drilled in from Nick Williams that you have, like, performances in training will shape his starting 11?
I'm not sure. I think you're gonna have to ask him that. I think everybody trains very, really well, and I think he always has like tough decisions to make. And yeah,
tricky one.
Yeah.
Next question. What has been the best moment of the season for you so far? And I emphasize so far because we've got more.
I'll probably say, I think we went on the 7-game winning run. I think it might have started near the start of the season. I think the first game was Halifax, and then the last one might have been like Tokyo at home. I think it was so good to play in.
Yeah. That's almost like obviously it sounds obvious that when you start to get those wins, like the team spirit builds. Or what's it like when you've got 7 wins in a row? And like the football we've been playing, it's not like we were grinding out 7 wins. We were putting a lot of goals past teams. What's that like? Like to go in after a game in the changing room, is it like, right, we've ticked another one off, let's go again?
Yeah, it was a really good feeling. It's one of them where you just want to play Saturday, Tuesday, you're in that rhythm where you think, oh, you can win every single game here. Like, so it's just like, yeah, it felt really good.
Not necessarily this season, but because we've done so well, I think we've got 3 defeats all season. But when you're in that like winning run, do you feel like you can keep going? Like, do you feel less lethargic and tired just because spirits are high?
I still think even if like you do lose, like let's say like when we've lost a game, we never thought like, oh, we're tired. We lost because we're tired, and we think, oh, like the next game, we can use excuses. Oh, we're tired and stuff like that. I think no matter what, like you always feel good. You just want to play the game, win. Even if you do lose the week after, you think, oh, let's just get back to winning. That's what the mentality has been this season, really.
Yeah, and it's shown, hasn't it, from the stands, George?
100%.
Questions from you then, George.
Brian Wilkinson from Twitter asks, how do you manage the extreme highs and lows of football and still remain focused while still looking after your health and well-being?
I think having good people around you, it really does help. If you've got really good people around you that can help you, and I think knowing where you want to be really honestly helps, because I felt like I'm not where I really want to be, and it's like it's helped me to keep going all the time. And I just feel like when I actually do get there, then that's when I'll be like very, very happy. So it's just one of them where like you just gotta keep going.
Do you find it hard to get over a loss, or do you find it?
No, never. I think it's just one of them. You just kind of like obviously you're down for a bit, but then you've got a game coming up round the corner, so you just gotta like put it to the side and just go again to try and win.
And as a footballer, because I know from a fan's perspective, and I'm sure George will give me an answer as well in a minute. Do you find it? I know we haven't lost much this season, but more difficult when you've lost a game you've been pretty much outplayed in, or when you lose a game that you should have won? And I'm thinking back to Dagenham earlier this season. We should have had 4, 5, 6 goals. I think we lost. What's that feeling like after that kind of game?
It's one of them where we actually played really, really well. So it's you just kind of like, obviously you're frustrated, you don't win the game, but you just try and make sure you put it right the next game. And just ready to go again, really.
For me, George, is that your most difficult loss this season?
Yeah, without a doubt, because like you said, the performance was there. So yeah, without a doubt, that was the most difficult one, wasn't it?
Our next question is from Rob Aston on Facebook. How does the setup at Notts compare to previous clubs you have played for? And you've got quite a range of clubs there.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I obviously you got City, which is obviously nothing will obviously compare to that. But I'll probably say, and obviously I had Rangers, so I'll probably say after them two, it's definitely the best one. Yeah.
Mm. The facilities, like the good people always say that the stadium for the league we're in.
Yeah. It's crazy, honestly.
What's it like? You know, those games where we've got that 12, 13,000 crowd. What's that like coming out playing at Medellin? Because we don't actually have a question asked about that, so I'll be interested to know.
Yeah, it's great. Well, to be fair, like even if we don't get that much, you still feel great. You feel the support all the time from the fans, so it just gets us going all the time. So yeah, it's
and obviously we're going into the playoffs very soon. This is being filmed just before the York game, but we'll go out shortly after. How much the fans spur you on? We see like Ruben and Kyle Cameron are very much, they'll try and get the fans going even more. How much of a boost does that give you as a player?
Yeah, it definitely helps us a lot. Like we need the fans with us to make a lot of noise, and I honestly think that will intimidate teams. Like coming to not just the ground, but like hearing a lot of noise. I genuinely really feel to intimidate teams, and yeah, we just can't wait for it.
So have you felt that as an away player, that kind of noise does give the other teams can intimidate?
I think coming to Notts County, I think it does. I think it does, but never when we've played away, because I probably think like our fans, every away game we've played to, our fans have made more noise than probably the opposition's home fans. So it's not really like made a difference for us. But honestly, I think like teams, yeah, it could intimidate them.
Yeah, let's hope that's the case in the playoffs. I know tickets went on sale yesterday, I think, so season ticket holders, or the day before, and sold loads already. So let's hope. George, next question.
Next question from Neil, one of the best fans that come on the channel. In what way have Luke and Ryan influenced your style of play?
Obviously, well, change of position first, and then probably just being free and letting me do what I am good at. So get me in the right positions for me to play my best football, I'll probably say.
What's Ryan Harley like? Because we don't really get much of we get a little bit of insight. I think we've had a handful of interviews from him this season. What's he like to work with?
Yeah, honestly, he's brilliant. Like he's more on the football side. Obviously, he helps us a lot as well. Like talks to us, but he's more like on the football side, the little technical bits, like what he does with the strikers and the wide players as well. It's just little details. So like let's say like Ruben gets on the ball, he finds Maka like shoots. It's just just the little details, the little passes, and like the types of cross to put in, and it's just stuff like that. So basically, I'll probably say like so many other goals that we scored this season is literally all from him and his little details with the gaffer.
You often hear Luke Williams, praising him for those little extra bits. Next question then. It's kind of, well, it is related to this question. It's from Curtis Large on Instagram. So has playing abroad influenced your playing style?
Not so much. No. I'll probably say it's helped me a bit more technically because it was really, really technical out there. So they help you out. Obviously, they do like stuff with you, like one-on-ones with you, stuff like that, to help you technically and stuff like that. But it hasn't changed really that much, no.
And just thinking back to that last question from Neil, in what way have Luke and Ryan influenced your style of play? Is it something? Well, how are they different from previous managers? Do we have a lot of tactical stuff? Do we have more fitness stuff? Obviously, we don't see what goes on inside on the training pitch, but is there anything they work on that you sort of never experienced before?
I'll probably say, apart from being at City in a youth academy, I'll probably say it's the most tactical work I've ever done. Honestly, it's so much. But obviously, you can see that how well we're doing on the pitch because of all these little tactical bits. So yeah, it's a lot of tactical work. 3 times a week, tactical work all the time. Just 11v11 playing against each other. Yeah.
Is it mentally tiring to take, or as the season's gone on and you've got more and more used to what he wants and the playing style he wants, has it just become sort of natural?
No, it's definitely come natural. It's definitely come natural. Everybody knows what they need to do. I think that's it. Literally shows on a pitch, like so everyone knows what they need to do. So that's why it's been like not easy, but just it's helped us out massively.
Yeah, there's been some games this season though where like we've managed to get to the 70th minute, especially at the start of the season, and we've sort of taken the foot off the gas and allowed ourselves to, well, from a fan's perspective, not taking the foot off the gas, but we've been able to keep possession and conserve that bit of energy. So
yeah. I think we're much more controlled. I think we're much more controlled. When not panicking, not sitting back. I think we're just much more controlled.
Yeah, it's nice to see, isn't it, George? Go on.
Yeah, well, I think it was on the radio, and Ruben was on the radio. It was a few weeks ago now. He was sort of talking about sometimes the actual games are easier than the games that you play in training. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, the 11v11 games that we play, they're so tough. It's just one of them where like you can't get the ball off the other team, or the other team can't get the ball off you, and it's so difficult because everybody kind of knows everyone's strength and weakness, so you can kind of like expose them, but then also get exposed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So honestly, like we always say, it's like it's so difficult.
Whose team do you always hope you're on? One player.
I don't know really. No, I'll be honest. I don't know. It's just one of them where everyone's literally just like it's good. So it's just I don't mind who's on my team.
Yeah, I think from a fan's perspective, there's such a structure to the way we play, and you know how we're going to come out. And I think one games that sticks in my mind was Altrincham away, and some of their fans and I think that one of their media officers said something like it's the best possession-based side they've ever seen at this level. And there's certain things we do in games that blows my mind that Feb, March, April teams can't stop. Things like the overlaps that you or the underlaps that you do, and Ruben will feed you through, or Matty Palmer will feed you through. It's just from a fan's perspective, isn't it, George? Like you know what you're getting, and teams know what they're going to get, and they can't stop it. So
I don't know. It's just stuff that we've just worked on in training all the time that we're kind of getting better at. So I think it's just that really just working on it every single day. And but we do obviously like for every single day we do try and change a little bit. But I think when teams realise it's a bit too late.
And I think we've seen like a few teams really try and sit in, especially at Meadow Lane, and 90% have had no luck. And I think the ones that have had luck, as we've already mentioned, I think more than lucky. I think if we look back to Dagenham, we hit the post a few times. So it's a really good style of play. Going into that playoff game, how big do you think it is, as you've already talked about, the fans playing at Meadow Lane for that hopefully the first game of the playoff run?
Yeah, it's massive, and everyone's obviously looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll get a good crowd from it.
Hopefully loads of tickets sold, hopefully almost a sellout. Next question then. I believe this is your question, George.
Yeah, that's correct. Steve Marshall from Twitter. How do you think you could improve your game further?
Just getting better at what I'm really good at, and also probably obviously work defensively, as I know I'm not the best defender, but just work on stuff defensively like body shape and just stuff like that, really. But
Do you see this? Sorry.
I really try and work on what I'm really, really good at.
Do you see this as your position at wing back? Do you enjoy this position? Is it physically very tiring at the wing back position?
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. But I'd like to say, like I call Jody a footballer, to call myself a footballer too. So I'm not just a wing back, maybe like other positions too.
Because am I right in saying earlier in your career you'd just see yourself mainly as not mainly, but you're a winger playing in that position? Yeah,
that's where I've played most of my career, and it's probably like this season, maybe a little bit last season, but much more this season where I've constantly played as a wing back.
Yeah. Couple more questions. So Max Cochran on Instagram. So on away trips, who do you sit next to on the coach?
Cal Cameron.
Cal Cameron.
Yeah.
Even though his music's got some dodgy choices.
Yeah.
Would you always sit with him, or would you always choose
Yeah,
the same
I
coach?
think it's just where I've sat since I've arrived, and it's just a comfortable seat. So I just sit there. I've not moved.
Have you got any like pre-match rituals for going into games?
No.
Nothing like that.
No.
I bet do some players have some in the dressing room, like rituals?
I'm not too sure. I'm too busy focusing on it. I don't really look at it. Yeah.
Fair enough. And then last question's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a good question. This was when I saw this, I was like, "What a great question!" From Tom Williams. Can you make an all-time five-a-side team of players that you've played with?
You can include yourself if you
myself. I'll try and pick from where I've been. Probably say, I'll pick Ruben. Manu Garcia, he was with at City. Brahim Diaz, he was with at City, and I'll pick Matty Palmer.
Matty Palmer.
Yeah. No keeper. I've not picked a keeper ever. Or does it not matter?
Could you pop in goal, rush goalie, or something like that?
Yeah. I'll do a job in goal.
Who's the best goalie in training apart from obviously the keepers? We saw a few years ago Doyle went in goal. I think Ruben fancied himself in goal a bit.
I'm not sure. I've not seen anyone go in goal yet. I'm not sure. I think maybe Connell might be all right.
Yeah.
Connell maybe. Yeah. Or Kyle Cover, I think maybe.
I'm not fancying Matty Palmer in goal and five-a-side. Just keep him out.
No. Yeah, keep him on the yeah.
That's our fan questions done, Aaron. Now we could have had loads more in there. But yeah, a good range of questions there. So thank you to everyone that has sent them in. As I've already mentioned, this has been recorded before the final game of the season against York. Nothing can actually change with league position. The only thing that can change is our opponents. Obviously, we don't know who that is yet. How much does the playoff campaign excite you? Because it's it's a one-off game.
Yeah. I think not just me. I think everyone's so excited for it. Everyone's looking forward to it. And yeah, everyone can't wait for it, really.
Yeah. How you feeling, George? Calm?
I'm confident, yeah. Confident.
Yeah.
How can you not be after the season we've had?
What's it like? 106 points currently, and by the time this video's out, who knows, we might have more. What's that like to be in a side that's played that well? Because obviously the football we've already said has been incredible, but it's almost, unless you're very lucky, it's a once in a lifetime season to get that many points, isn't it? What's it been like?
Yeah, I think we've all thought we've had a fantastic season to get that many points, and hopefully we can take this consistency that we've had all season into the playoffs, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah, let's hope. We've got our tickets. Let's see who we get when this video's out. We'll know who we're against. But yeah, Aaron, really appreciate you joining us and giving up your time. I'm sure people that sent questions in and Notts fans in general will have loved to hear from you. So really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been great.
Cheers. Great to have you on.
Cheers, Aaron.
Thank you.